he suicided by cop because he had a concealed pistol and he was at a protest. You're allowed to have concealed weapons. You're allowed to have open carry weapons at protests in America. I've been to protests.
So this is actually securing our entire future of America, getting rid of these people who come here to plunder.
I think Hillary Clinton probably eats babies. I'm not exaggerating. I think she's...
Okay.
I'm seeing people posting things like, they deserve to die. That is an untruth. She did not deserve to die.
And again, I'm talking about the people who come here to abuse the system, not somebody who's coming here to work. You approach the system and you approach the border properly and you register yourself and you become a worker, welcome. That is the American dream.
I don't think there's any dirt on Trump, because if there was, it would have come out during the Biden administration.
I don't think we should talk about the lives of immigrants like they have no value. I'm only second generation American. My grandparents came here from other countries.
The cop doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, oh crap, she's gonna run me over. And he pulls out his gun and shoots. And now for the rest of his life, he's the guy that shot that lady.
Oh, he's the victim? He's the victim now because he...
Yeah, he is the victim.
He's the big victim. Yeah.
He's
Okay.
the
He's a
victim.
bit of a victim, but the kids are the real victim.
Hi, everybody. This is John back, Real Veteran News. It's been a little while, but we're here to do Real Veteran News 51 on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2026. None of us have anything significant to do, but we're together, Valentine's Day. And what?
That made it sound so sad. Wow.
I know, I'm
I had a lot going on. I
like,
could have
nothing
done
to
today.
do.
Oh, you guys cut time out of your busy Valentine's Day schedules to do this?
I'm moving apartments, yes. I literally put like a 2-hour time block in between moving stuff.
John's projecting sadness. That's all.
I am not sad.
Our lives are not going very well, but it's fine. We're back to talk about the news from a veteran perspective. We've got liberals, conservatives, weirdos, crazies. We got everything. We got Gold Star Sisters. We got authors, app developers, Air Force Academy graduates. We got everything. All right. So topics this week are ICE, Epstein, and crypto. Bitcoin, it's going down. Our guests this week are Mason, Matt Tipton, and Mary Kubik. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves in that order, please?
Sure. So I'm Mason Blue. I'm the Air Force veteran. I'm the weirdo, kind of crazy one that they talk about where you kind of never know what my opinion will be.
Exactly. Right.
I'm Matt Tipton. I served in 3rd Ranger Battalion. I'm working as a physician now.
I'm Mary Kubik. I'm the Gold Star sister of Sergeant Ronald Kubik, and I am a social worker for real now.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations on that. It's been a long-term goal of Mary Kubik, social work. I don't know really what that means or entails, but we've reached it, right? Like what does that do? What does that mean?
I'll be working with young girls who've been rescued from trafficking situations, and we will be teaching them life skills and helping them work through all of the things that they've experienced in their life and helping to create hope for the future, providing resources, education, skills, training, and hope.
That sounds intense. Yeah.
I think third topic is the Epstein list. So there's going to be a lot of people that need that because I guess these people have probably been given bad training and guidance their whole life.
That is one topic that has been all over my coworkers, and mine is Epstein right now. So, yeah.
So you and your coworkers are tired of hearing about Epstein and want to get on with the Make America Great agenda, right, Mary?
Sorry. No. Justice would be amazing, though. That would be great.
Okay, cool. So before we start talking about the news, what do you guys think about Bad Bunny? In order, Mason?
I didn't watch a second of the Super Bowl or the halftime show.
Well, you're a loser. All right. Matt, what do you think about Bad Bunny and his halftime show performance?
So I speak Spanish, but not well, and I have trouble with the Puerto Rican accent. I would like to go back and watch it again with subtitles and see all the actual language and syntax that was used. I thought from a cinematic perspective, it was a beautiful halftime show. To get all the people in the costumes with the grass out there and do what they did was really good production value. I would have to watch it again with subtitles to give an opinion on the content, but from just a visual standpoint, it was well done.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Mary,
I watched Tombstone instead.
the old Western?
I'll be your hucklebearer. Absolutely did.
Poor Val.
I got the Sam
I
Elliott.
know. I got to meet
Poor
him.
Val.
He was really, really nice. He came to a fundraising dinner at Monmouth University when I was one of the banquet servers there, and so I got to talk to him for a little while before he passed away.
Speaking of Iceman.
Yeah, he seemed like a very talented. I mean, obviously in the movies, sometimes he was a little abrasive, but talented, good actor. Did a lot of cool stuff.
He looked really introverted in person. Like, he was just super quiet, and he was humble about the whole night. So it was cool. I liked him.
Good down to earth, successful actor. So that's good. I never really heard of Bad Bunny before, but now all I do is listen to Bad Bunny. So it's just a lot of. I don't even know Spanish. I'm just dancing. Like, he's just got me moving my hips.
Jazz hands.
So believable.
No, I've been listening to it. It's weird. Okay, cool.
The way I expected this to start was not John Koenig talking about Bad Bunny and getting him to dance.
I'm shaking these hips. I'm shaking this dump.
Hips don't lie.
His milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Shakira can get me to dance.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so let's get serious and talk about ICE. I'm sure everyone's got mixed opinions on the ICE organization under DHS. I will start the conversation with some recent polling from NBC. NBC says that overall, all Americans in their poll, 29% want to abolish, 43% want to reform, 29% want to continue as is normal. So pretty standard split there. With independents, I consider myself independent, and a lot of people on RVN also kind of consider themselves independent, whether they lean. And so with the independents, which I find is more interesting, 14% want to continue, 55% want to reform, and 31% want to abolish. So I personally think that with the independents, I think you get a lot of people who are more liberal that tack into the independents, because the Democrat, like the pure Democrat, it's like if you don't agree with like any single thing that they agree with, then you're like excommunicated. They're like liberals essentially. They don't agree with one issue that the liberals agree with, whether it's guns or XYZ or whatever. So then they kind of like count themselves in the independent, but they're kind of like shadow liberals. So you get this kind of over representation of liberal independence in this kind of independent field, which we see. Obviously, you've got a lot of people in the independents that want to reform or abolish. Honestly, the independents have more abolished than like overall Americans. But I personally think that overall Americans and everything in general is split down in the middle, essentially Republican, Democrat, with the independents, splitting roughly on their side of things. So what do you guys think about these polling numbers? What do you think, people in your lives, or other veterans or what you see on TV? What's your perspective? Let's start with Gold Star Sister Mary. Come on.
Mason's like, but I want to go
It's
first.
all good. It's all good. I just wanted to. I wanted to rip math. I just want to insult math. That was all I wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably more interesting to hear what Mary thinks. So let's go with that.
I in terms of the people that I familiarize myself with, I'd say it's painfully divided. There's no gray area in how people think. They're either against it, want it reformed or abolished, or they're completely in favor of where they stand right now. Personally, I think that we need something like ICE or ICE. We just do need it to be reformed. Like most systemic problems that we have, reform would be necessary. I think that the only way that's going to be possible, though, is if we shine a light on everything that's happening and can actually verbalize it and accept it instead of trying to deny it or create a loophole statement about it. But we have to be willing to confront what is, how it is right now, in order to actually have real change. So if we're completely denying everything that's happening or making excuses for it, then change is impossible.
Polls are awful because when you ask a very simple question on something that needs to be a 4-hour conversation, it's hard to get a good yes or no answer. Every branch of government, every single thing down to the post office needs to be reformed in some sense. Any human organization can be reformed and do better. So obviously, we need to reform everything. I would like to abolish ICE in the same way I'd like to abolish every aspect of the government and just be as libertarian as possible. If you're going to have open borders, you can't have a welfare state. So if you're going to have a welfare state, you have to have something like ICE to keep people that'll come here and get free stuff out. But we could not have ICE and just not give away free stuff and let everybody do the frontier method of go out, make your own homestead and earn your own keep and have much lower taxes. There's 3 simple questions that were yes or no on something that needs to be a thoughtful, multi-planar, multi-dimensional conversation that's hours long, if not days long.
First, I would kind of agree with Mary, but I wanted to say I don't know the direction she was going for. Like, yeah, we need reform, but like what kind? And I kind of think we need to go more strict. Again, I don't think you need to criminalize people. I have this kind of new slogan, criminalizing people. Somebody's not a criminal just because they crossed a border. They're probably just mistaken and didn't know the rules. I think we need to adjust our policies, first of all, to make it so that if there is somebody that we're deporting them, it's a great oxymoron. Criminalizing people. The best oxymoron ever. I even had a shirt made. I'll wear it next time. We should, instead of deporting them or putting them in prison, which is kind of like slave labor, still, I guess, deport them, but give them a case of durable goods. So we're bolstering American manufacturing and also improving those people's lives so that they can be sent on in a good way. And so that's kind of where I agree, like with Mary, we need some reform. I just think we need to double down in protecting our borders because there are a lot of evil people right now. And I don't know how they're getting here. Some of them are probably flying in, some of them are probably walking in. I don't know. The Somalis, I really don't know how they got here. And I think that we need to make sure we deport every single one of the people that is abusing the welfare state. Because when you look at it, Somalis alone in Minnesota are estimated to have taken out $9 billion of the $18 billion in Medicare expenditures in Minnesota. So first of all, that's half. So one small group of people have abused a system to double the cost of it just for their own personal gain. And when you factor in that that's $9 billion taken already, which who knows how much more they're going to take, the average American pays $250,000 in taxes in their lifetime. So that means those Somalis have stolen the contribution of 36,000 Americans. And again, not every American pays taxes, right? So that is a massive amount of theft that is done by a group of people that has no desire to become American. They are here to plunder, and they need to be removed. Removing them from our society will immediately protect our citizens while also saving us money. And again, you know my belief that the national debt is our greatest future threat. So this is actually securing our entire future of America, getting rid of these people who come here to plunder. And again, I'm talking about the people who come here to abuse the system, not somebody who's coming here to work. If you approach the system and you approach the border properly and you register yourself and you become a worker, welcome. That is the American dream. But when you come here to use the entitlement state and steal from every single hardworking American, I don't want you here, and I never will. So, and then the final thing on the stupidity of the statistics, like most of these news stations and where they make these polls, is they probably go up to people and like, these 2 people just got killed. Should we reform? It's like, nobody's going to say no. And what reform do they mean? Again, I think we need to have more shields and less guns. I think we need to disarm every single law enforcement agent except for special forces law enforcement like SWAT. Everyone else give them a shield and let them go out there and defend themselves. And it's going to be a little rough at first. But we do not need untrained police officers that cannot do hand-to-hand combat having projectile weaponry to suppress a citizenry, especially when they're enforcing over 2.2 million laws. So they're going out there with, anyways, that's me going a little bit too libertarian. The final thing is I'm seeing on the news where you can't really identify these federal agents. They're not clearly wearing a uniform and they're not clearly identified. Oftentimes they're wearing masks. They need to be unmasked. They need to be wearing a clearly identifiable uniform that Kristi Noem shows everyone that every one of her people is going to be wearing so that we can know exactly that these people are actually agents of the law and they shouldn't be resisted. As is, they're in plain clothes and we have no idea what they are. So they could just be terrorist thugs. So I would naturally resist. Kristi Noem needs to fix that first of all. Finally, it's a kind of a 2-part thing because, again, ICE handles the deportation piece. Customs and Border Protection, I believe, handles the actual border lockdown, which we need to do, and also use the DOD to supplement that on the far side and ensure that the DOD locks down our borders. That should be its actual protection clause. And then final thought, just to be a complete asshole. The 2 people that died, I don't feel bad. I'm sorry. First of all, the woman who drove Renee Good, she in a lot of senses was pretty similar to a V-bid terrorist. She didn't actually have an explosion there, but she was using the car as a battering ram. Should they have killed her? Probably not. Should we mourn her loss? No. She was an agitator that was trying to cause problems. And then the final one, the other guy, Alex Preddy, in my opinion, he committed suicide by cop. He went out there, he started a fight. And then when the fight was lost, he still kept fighting. And then again, what I believe happened was there was one negligent discharge by someone who was caught up in the melee, and then everybody else mag dumped because they were defending themselves. And it's a tragedy for everybody involved, and it was caused by an agitator. And the final thing that we need to deliver from that is the news media needs to change their message and stop telling people to be agitators. Sorry, that was a bit of a soapbox.
Okay, all right. I want to say some stuff, but Matt, you can respond if you want to say something.
I'd like to agree with Mason and add, I do feel bad about their deaths. It's sad every time anyone dies, no matter what your job is, anytime something goes wrong, you can sit there and think about it and what you did different and how you could do it different and not happen. I guarantee every officer involved wishes they didn't die, because just from the paperwork and being suspended and like, just, it's a hassle. And now their names are out there and they're being harassed. Like, just from that standpoint, a selfish standpoint, not even compassion for the dead person. They're like, man, I wish I hadn't been there that day. What I would like to see is a federal law. Anytime there's a police shooting resulting in a citizen being shot or killed, it has to go to a grand jury and be presented. Everything be open afterwards so the public can see it. And I would like to see every officer that carries a gun have a badge camera on at all times, and that be presented within 72 hours to the public so we can see it. Unless there's some snippet of information that needs to be redacted for an ongoing investigation. But the more evidence is out there and the more camera angles and the more openness is what puts reassurance in people. The problem is right now is every time there's a police shooting, everybody picks the politics of it and tries to do mental gymnastics to make it fit what they already believe versus was this a good shoot or a bad shoot. You can't simultaneously believe like what BLM says and Kyle Rittenhouse and these cases. Like, everybody just divides into their two sides of tribalism and says, oh, I think it's a good shoot or a bad shoot because my side was the victim or not. Police are in a terrible situation where they go out every day and from moment to moment, they can be getting coffee on their break and they get shot in the back of the head, 10 seconds later. So they're on high alert. And okay, you're a fat, dumpy lesbian mom who decides to rev the gas and smart off to a police officer. The cop doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, oh crap, she's going to run me over. And he pulls out his gun and shoots. And now for the rest of his life, he's the guy that shot that lady.
Oh, he's the victim? He's the victim now because he
is the victim.
He's the big victim. Yeah.
He's
a bit of a victim, but the kids are the real victim.
Yeah.
People need to talk about the fact that somebody convinced her to go out and ram police instead of staying home and protecting her children. And what was she doing? She was defending Somali terrorists who were stealing from her. That's the funny thing to me.
Defending Somali terrorists. Okay.
Yeah, that's right, crazy guys. White privilege when you think you can go and protest the cops and rev your gas and try to run them over.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys.
The officer had internal bleeding.
We've listened to this stuff. Okay. I'd like to say something and then Mary could go. Okay. With regard, what Mason said with the Somalis, just in general, they do have a kind of like slimy fraudster culture, which they brought to our country, which is obvious and it's not great. Other parts of the world, Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia, they also have this scammy culture. It's nasty, especially when they come to your country, you give them refuge, and then they're scamming the government, they're scamming everyone. It's infuriating. But to say like, oh, they're ripping off they should be sent wherever because they're ripping off
back home.
People who do the most ripping off of the federal government are drug companies, defense corporations, all white men. And, and then you single out like these poor Somalis who, yes, are ripping, but I mean, everybody's ripping off the government. You know what I mean? And to what? Okay, Mason, go ahead.
Pete Hegseth did a video this week about how he's attacking fraud in the Department of Defense, Department of War, where he's basically saying that the current legislation enables minorities a 10 to 50% advantage on every single contract, and that's just straight overhead theft. So that has nothing to do with white men, because actually white men are the only people who can't get that. It's a 10 to 50% cost increase in the entire Department of Defense paid just to give some minorities a feel good.
Of course they can get it because they just attach some minorities to their contract, or they have their wife own 51% of their country and all of a sudden it's a woman-owned business. People have been playing these games in Washington,
Let's
D.C.
see.
for a long
Opposite.
time.
You just said it was
You
white
apparently weren't
males.
here long enough to understand how the system works, but that's fine. All right.
I'd
Everyone
like
wants
to
to move
point
on to
out.
the shooting. Everyone wants
I'd
to
like
move
to-
on to the shootings. The shootings are emotional. You guys have said what you had to say. I'll say a little bit, then Mary goes. All right. So you have the two shootings. First off, there's no reason to talk about the physical appearance of the mom who was killed or the fact she's lesbian. I mean, that's irrelevant. And with the Alex Preddy guy, like realistically, we're all Second Amendment. We believe in American gun culture, good guy with the gun, all that shit. And to be like, he's suicided by cop because he had a concealed pistol and he was at a protest. You're allowed to have concealed weapons. You're allowed to have open carry weapons at protests in America. I've been to protests, Richmond, Virginia, Second Amendment protests. Everybody had a loaded assault rifle. Nothing happened. Totally normal in America. And that's just that. I mean, that's ridiculous. So with the guys that did it, I mean, I think it's a little bit different. I think the Renee Good shooter guy, I think both of the shooters would have preferred not to have it happen. Okay. Like if they could go back and undo it, they probably would undo it. I think the Renee Good guy was having a bad day. He was a little pissed off. He decided to get a little extra aggressive, legally justified, whatever. But I mean, I think, he would undo it if he could. I think most people in DHS realized that it wasn't like obviously it wasn't like a good shoot. You know what I mean? He wasn't saving like a baby or like a mother with a gun to her head or something like that. It wasn't like a righteous shooting. And then with the other one, I mean, the guy laying face down on the ground and two guys unloading into his back, they pulled the gun out of his waistband. I mean, I get that. The guy negligent discharged it.
So he did have a gun.
Of course he had a gun. He was carrying, which is totally, I mean, honestly,
I thought he didn't have a gun.
It's great.
I thought they proved that he didn't have a gun.
Protest, carry your gun. Like if it's legal, go ahead and do it. I mean, it's fine. They disarmed him because they were in like a confrontation or whatever. The guy who pulled the gun shot it into the ground. Dumb move. And then the other guys, the first guy who shot him was the same guy who started the scuffle. All right. So he was already amped up. The other guy backed him up, didn't know what was happening, shot him as well. I think all these people would like to undo the situation knowing the facts now. I don't think they're evil people. But I mean, they're obviously mistakes.
Wait, can I recap what you just said? Sorry. So what I just heard that completely changes everything. What I just heard you say is that Alex Preddy had a gun on him. Someone took that from him and it negligently discharged. And then that caused the other two guys to mag dump.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing? So Alex Preddy did have a gun, and that gun was the first round that discharged in those videos.
He was face down on the ground after defending a woman who'd been knocked over by this guy. I mean,
you watched like 5 minutes before that. It's definitely not what happened.
Who cares? It's in a protest. Like shit happens. Like
yeah, but he went up and attacked federal agents the minute before that.
It's a protest. Like, this isn't church. This isn't Don Lemon. Like, come on.
I'm badged as a deputy, and I have a concealed weapons permit. You have a duty as a concealed weapons holder to identify to police.
No, you don't. That's bullshit, dude. You can carry a pistol anywhere you want, anywhere you fucking want. You don't have to tell cops shit. If they pull you over, maybe, but no.
When they start arresting you, which they were arresting him, there were 5 of them wrestling him. That's being detained when 5 guys are wrestling you. And what you do is you go limp and you put your hands behind your head and you lay there still because you have a gun on you. He was actively fighting them, and a gun was presented. Somebody pulled it out and they yelled gun, and other guys that couldn't see all the angles started shooting.
All right. Well, when this goes to court, his family's going to be getting about $15 million.
If he disarmed them, that wouldn't happen. If the police didn't have weapons, if not a single one of them was armed, they only had shields.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants
they would have. That would not have happened. Problem solved.
Mary. Let's hear what Mary
How many times have guns been useful in all of these campaigns by these guys? Probably not once.
Mary, please.
Sorry, this is upsetting to me. There are 2 people dead, and you can't justify the reason that they're dead to me. And don't get me wrong, because I was a community organizer for 7 years, so I've not just been involved in protests, I've organized protests. I've gotten the signs and the people and had to do permits for some of the things. So I do understand how some of that works. So that's not excusing any behavior that might have gone above and beyond what a peaceful protest looks like. However, I'm seeing people posting things like, they deserved to die. That is an untruth. She did not deserve to die. And I wish, like Matt was talking about the videos, Like, I just wish we had like really clear footage of circumspect, like all around from multiple angles. But what we have are bits and pieces and clips. And regardless of what I've seen on those clips, nothing about that to me says that there wasn't another course of action and that those people had to die. Shoot a tire, shoot both tires. I don't care if they're on ice. She was not hitting him, and she did not deserve to die in that situation. Whether she was protecting her neighbors or not, she did live in that neighborhood. She didn't just show up there to protest. Like, that was her home.
Mary, she actually struck him and he had internal bleeding.
I mean, they were protesting. The internal bleeding's bullshit. Come on, man. You know that's bullshit.
No, there's a CT scan with the patient had internal bleeding from being struck in the liver from the vehicle. But she did hit him.
His gun was already out and in his hand.
People underestimate how easy it is to be damaged. The human body can be damaged because they watch so many movies.
I almost died. I get how much fun car accidents and getting hit by cars is not, but I wouldn't have shot the woman that hit the side of my Jeep because I needed an aortic stent. Like, she did not deserve to die. That is not a fair statement.
I agree.
Did she do it intentionally? Did she point the vehicle at you and gas it?
He was leaning into it. If he wanted to get away, he could have gotten away.
So there's two people dead. That's the situation that we're in, and I don't believe either of them deserved death as the outcome to that situation. I don't think we should talk about their lives like they have no value. I don't think we should talk about the lives of immigrants like they have no value. I'm only second generation American. My grandparents came here from other countries. Like, we are the American dream in that side, but they've made it really hard. I have a lot of friends who've been fighting for citizenship, working here, paying taxes for a really long time, and they keep creating more and more loopholes. So it's hard to be like, yes, go ICE, when the people that I know that are trying to become citizens the right way are having a really hard time. My one friend's mom brought him here when he was a child, and she did not file the proper paperwork when she brought him across. So now he's fighting to be a citizen. He didn't even choose to live here, but he's grown up here since he was 4. That system is broken. So it's hard to enforce it on one side when the larger systemic picture is damaged. Like, how can you enforce a law that's broken? And that's what we have. We're enforcing broken laws on people, and it's turned into chaos. More people are going to get hurt. And if there was an easy way to reform it, I'd say, let's do that. But I don't think that there is. But we have to be careful and conscious and mindful. And I don't think police are the enemy or ICE is the enemy. I think right now we're in a terrible situation and everybody's just amped up. Like, the entire country or certain parts of it are in like fight or flight right now. So we're just like ready to respond. So when there isn't a dangerous situation, dangerous situations are forming because we just don't know who we can trust or what to do or who's volatile and who isn't. And people are feeling like they might be in trouble when they aren't because we're all just on edge. And I blame social media a lot for that. I honestly do. I think that they're playing to people's emotions. And so that's why one side can be so heavy this way and the other side can be so heavy that way. It depends on what news network you're watching. A narrative is for yourself.
If I get up in the morning and log into a Signal app and say, hey, where's ICE at? And somebody tells me, I get in my car with a gun, I drive to ICE, I provoke an interaction with them, and then physically fight cops, a good possibility is I'm going to end up getting my ass beat, getting arrested, or getting shot. That's just consequences of my decisions. It's not like these people were driving down the road and got pulled over by ICE and then it went bad. They sought out ICE involvement and they escalated it. And then they got killed.
Protest is legal. Well, right-wingers been protesting. Come on, man.
And I'm not saying that he was somebody that maybe didn't seek provocation. I'm saying he didn't deserve to die. He didn't fire the gun. He didn't have the gun in his hand. Somebody else took it out of the like, you can see the video. It was where it's supposed to be. Like, I mean,
Gandalf said to Frodo, many who deserve death don't get it, and many who don't do. Who are you to do it? I'm saying these are consequences of their actions. The good girl drove to there with her wife, let her wife dismount the vehicle so she could video it, and they were doing shenanigans. She was in reverse. They told her to put the car, turn it off, and get out. She went from reverse to park to drive and then gassed it at a guy. He was scared. He feared for his life, and he shot her.
Scared. He was very scared. I could see this. I could see the fear on his face.
Yeah, well, I could see the holes in her head. That's what happens when you drive a car at a cop. You get shot.
Of this Honda, whatever it was, like.
Do you think that car could have killed him if it ran him
how about
over?
this? So if Trump was guilty of inciting violence for January 6th, who's guilty of inciting violence against ICE and guilty of inciting Renee Good to go do what she did?
I wasn't saying they just don't agree with these people, man. All right.
I'm saying there's no, in my opinion, there's no, but hey, I also want to, a couple
Everybody
things.
say,
I would like to, Mary said a lot of stuff that I agree with.
One last thing.
But I want to just say that immigrants, there's a very big difference between immigrants and thieves. All right. If you're an immigrant that comes here to work, welcome. If you're a thief arriving to pilfer the welfare state and abuse the hospitality of your host, get the fuck out.
Okay, it's your last thing. Who's next? One more thing.
Ilhan Omar had sex with her brother.
Oh, he just dropped a bomb here. All right. Okay, Mary.
It's just important to remember the sanctity of life. I don't think that death is something that's deserved in a situation like that on anyone. We shouldn't be making fun of them after they were killed. So.
Okay, great. All right, you guys all did great. We've settled nothing, and we're time to move on to Epstein, which is even less emotional.
So on that note, here's a great segue. Unfortunately, if adult breaks the law while, like, you know, an adult gets arrested or deported by ICE, they have to make a decision of what to do with that child. And it's a really shit situation because it's like, all right, now this child is in federal custody. You can't just leave him alone or on the side of the road when you arrest the adult. So I guess the question is, how many of those children that ICE has had to like separate from families or taken into custody, how many of those have ended up on Epstein Island?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a good system set up for that, right?
Yes, that definitely happened. You don't think they found the cute kids and deported them straight to Epstein Island? There was definitely at least one person in that DHS child arresting and protection group that was definitely siphoning them off. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to think of that.
Yeah, it's vulnerable kids are the ones that get exploited, not...
I don't think he had any trouble getting kids. I don't think he needed to involve the government in it personally. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's a good segue, though.
Interesting theory. I won't characterize what kind of theory it is, but...
Read the Podesta emails.
All right.
Read the Podesta emails.
With Epstein, we got some news on Epstein recently. So let's start with the redaction. So basically, they dumped a bunch of Epstein stuff. When did they do it? It was like right before the holiday or something like that. Weekend dump thing. I mean, it's pretty obvious. They were like redacting men who were like accused of being involved with Epstein. And also some women too. There were like some women too. And then they were failed to redact some obvious like victim types, which is like ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Democrats and Thomas Massey, like some of the Congress people called them out and they removed some redactions, especially of the men. You can't really re-redact after the fact the women that were kind of exposed. But what do you guys think about the redaction process and kind of like this issue of the wrong names being redacted, so on and so forth?
I can go. Do you want to wait for Matt?
I mean, Matt's going to get
Matt's doing some.
Is that a baby goat?
It's a little corgi puppy.
Dude, you always got something fresh, some kind of fresh animal on your island there.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mason's ready to go.
All right, I would say a couple of things. There was like a citation in there that I just wanted to insult someone because I can't remember who it was. It's like responsible for reviewing it, but I have a direct quote here. It says, quote, "Of the 3.5 million documents that have been released, I have had the opportunity to review maybe 30 or 40 of them."
Ro Khanna, I think so. That
whoever it is that said that should be fired immediately. There's a percentage of that that's less than 0.1%. Like, clearly they're not going to review it.
His job is not to review documents 24 hours a day.
It's literally their job. It's literally what a
congressman's job is, to review Epstein documents 24 hours.
It's to review the most important documents to the American people and make decisions upon them, yes.
Mason, there's two ways to redact. One is by blacking everything out, and the other is by releasing so much information. It's like, hey, you're looking for a silver coin? Here's the Atlantic Ocean. And you're like, well, where's the silver coin? It's like, oh, it's at the bottom somewhere, but you can't find it. So they'll dump so many documents on somebody that you can't possibly find the one keyword. With AI and, search algorithms, you can find more stuff now, but you have to have the keyword to search for.
That's why that's why it'll never be found, is because they're going to dump it on some stupid consultant firm. They're going to say they're using AI tools. They're going to find nothing, and it's all going to go away. And nothing's ever going to actually have ever been attempted to be occurred because they're all going to blame it on AI.
There's several sources out right now. I don't know the name of them, but somebody's built an app to where you can search all these documents and find stuff. And it's very interesting what they're finding. The problem is you can be casually mentioned in the Epstein files because there was a news article where, that you and I were talking and we were referenced. That doesn't mean you were involved in any way. I think sunshine is one of the best cures for corruption, is just get it all out there and let everybody see what it is and look at the full context of every email. So if you and I were mentioned in a casual email of like Epstein watched one of the RVN podcasts and commented on it, that doesn't mean we were involved with him. That just means we were mentioned. When you start blacking everything out, it's like if your partner is like locking their phone all the time and not letting you read it, your imagination goes wild. So you're thinking worse things are going on than what actually is going on. But they just need to open it all up and let us figure it out.
I mean, what possible justification is there for blocking out entire? I mean, I understand if it's like a CIA program or something, but on the Epstein files, like, why are you redacting like entire
Epstein program is a
pages?
CIA and Mossad program.
Entire full pages. Like, you're supposed to be redacting names.
Epstein was involved with the Mossad and the CIA. That's why they're blocking out whole things.
Transparency is the solution, exactly like Matt said. Matt is 100% right.
They're trying to protect Trump and other rich men. They don't care about CIA, Mossad, all this nonsense.
I agree with almost everything Matt said. So, you solve it through transparency, you just make everything open. But the people that don't want it to be open are the people that are guilty, right? So every time they black something out, you just know they're guilty. That's the only way you can look at it, is if something is blacked out, guilty.
Straight to jail.
I don't know, straight to jail, but because you can't prove it, you just know that they're guilty. Scarlet letter, right? Publicly, we know that they're guilty. I don't want to deal with them. Assuming that this was a Mossad influence operation, which it clearly was, there was an incentive for them to get photos with prominent individuals, right? So you have to look at it, what they were trying to accomplish. Two things. One, either achieve leverage over the individual because you record them doing terrible things like torturing children or raping children. Or number two, you create the implication that they are guilty by association because you invited them there and maybe they showed up. Like Donald Trump was an aspiring billionaire with huge ambitions. I don't know if he raped children on Epstein Island, but I think he probably went there.
Do you think Trump went to Epstein Island?
I think there's no proof of that. I thought there was photos of him on like the airplanes and stuff. But so there's a possibility that he could have gone. Okay, you're saying he hasn't. But then you get there, and what I've heard multiple times, multiple rumors, is that Trump was the first whistleblower. So yeah, like they're going to be incentivized. They have a goal to get people to go to that island to either get them to commit crimes or to get them to commit terrible things or get them to appear to have committed terrible things. Oh, I have no knowledge. I know nothing. And when I look at it, one thing I will say is there is a disappearance of a girl named Madeleine McCann. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann like 20 years ago.
In Portugal,
and
right?
I don't know how, but I saw a picture of it. It just popped up like the universe, whatever. And then a picture of Trump with Madeleine, with a girl that looks exactly like that. Also, I think a picture of Hillary Clinton with a girl that looks like Madeleine McCann. And if all I got to say is, Trump, on the note of blacking things out, whenever he does it, it makes him look guilty. He's in charge right now. So every time there's a black line, it makes him look guilty. And some people say that he was the first, I think he might be the first whistleblower, but at the same time, you see pictures of Melania Trump with every single one of those Epstein people, it makes him look guilty. Trump kissed the wall, makes him look guilty. Half Trump's family is Israeli citizenship. It does kind of make him look like he has multiple ties. And every week, another $1 billion gets sent to Israel. Every time one of those happens and then he blacks out something, it makes him look guilty.
I'm in favor of complete transparency. I don't think redaction, I don't think blacking it out makes sense. I also agree that if you overwhelm people with information sometimes, then they might not find what they really need to see or they're looking for, but give people the opportunity to research it. So I'd rather you give me everything unblacked out and be like, this is what it says, and give the people the opportunity to search into it. I agree with the implication of guilt by association. People are going to look at those images and think like maybe there's an association. Didn't Bush fly out Bin Laden's family after the towers were hit and all the planes were down? That looks like guilt too. So who knows what it means, but we're not going to be able to figure that out if we don't have all of the information in front of us. Blacking things out makes you look like you're attached to it. Like there might be some guilt for you or your association. So if you want to prove your innocence, put it in the light.
Mary, can I ask a female perspective? Imagine yourself a victim of Epstein and all this comes out and you've somehow recovered and you're living your life and you've escaped it and you don't really want to be blown up and have that in there. I agree the victim should be able to have their names redacted, but I still think they should have Jane Doe 169 so we can consistently see through the emails the same individual referenced. And then if an individual's consulted and they say, hey, do you want your name out there? We're like, yeah, I do. I'm a victim and I want people to know who hurt me. But it should be up to the victim if their name's redacted. But every individual, we should be able to see if one female was mentioned one time or it's across 173 emails that it's the same individual coming up. But other than that, I don't care if you're Joe Rogan or Bill Gates or whoever, even if you're tangentially mentioned, I want to know your name, but I want to read the full context of what were they saying? Because, okay, you were at a trade show in New York and you stood next to Epstein before he was convicted and got a picture. I'm fine with that. I bet I've stood next to murderers before and not known it. You know, I work in the prison system too, but just because you're standing next to somebody at a party doesn't mean you did anything. I don't think there's any dirt on Trump because if there was, it would have come out during the Biden administration. They would have hammered him with it. They made up felonies that he committed that he didn't commit just to try to block him. If they had anything on him from the Epstein thing, he would have been all come out.
And they were using Epstein against him in the 2016, I believe. They were like accusing him negatively of that stuff. So that's one where you give him some credit, in my opinion.
There's no credit.
He blocked him from Mar-a-Lago and outed him and criticized him. He was anti-Epstein.
John, you seem to be pretty anti-Trump right now.
Oh, he was so anti-Epstein. I saw these pictures of him. He was so anti-Epstein, and they had nothing in common.
I agree that victims' names should be redacted unless they want them to be presented. They should be contacted and give them the option if they want to be mentioned. I mean, a lot of them were probably minors at the time, so I was I was friends with somebody who wound up killing somebody, and I saw him after he killed them. So that made me a key character witness in a murder trial, but because I was under 18, I had anonymity. And so a lot of the people that are in those files are going to be under 18 based on what I'm reading, when the things occurred. So they should all be blacked out anyway.
There's absolutely no justification why any male's name should be redacted. I mean, like, if it's victims, like, there were 0 male victims, right? I mean, we can all agree.
There were
on
a
that.
ton of male
I'm
victims.
sure there were male victims.
There's that meme that, like, did you ever see that thing? It's like that was like all Obama wanted when he was down there.
Debauchery knows no bounds. I'm sure that there are cat victims. Like, I'm sure it's all the things.
I think this guy was mostly after girls, but whatever.
I think this guy was after whatever people wanted. This guy was a provider of...
It's compromise. They're making compromise.
He would give people whatever they wanted so that he could have leverage over them. If somebody wanted boys, he got boys. If somebody wanted girls, he got girls. If somebody wanted drugs, he got drugs. And if somebody wanted to kill somebody, he let them do that too, I think.
I think he specialized in girls. We haven't heard a lot of boy stuff. Okay, let's move on to the Trump phone call. A report in the Epstein files that in 2019, the Florida, FBI police chief told the FBI that Trump called him and said that everyone knows about Epstein. Thank you. Ghislaine is evil. Thank you for catching them, whatever. And then nobody else has any evidence that this actually happened. I don't know if people have asked Trump whether he made the call or not. What do you guys think about this, like, supposed phone call that happened?
I've heard through multiple places that Trump was the first whistleblower.
I mean, obviously right-wing podcasts are going to try to make Trump look like a fucking hero because they love him.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I haven't heard anyone saying that looks crazy, dude. Like, he's obviously diddling these fucking girls. Like, come on.
Okay, again, if you want me to say the worst thing I can think of, when I look at that picture of Madeleine McCann, it looks like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both met her. And it looks like the two 2016 presidential election candidates completed a demonic sacrifice of a small girl.
That's not a real thing, dude.
That's if you want me to be as crazy as I can be, that's what it looks like.
There's no demonic. This is ridiculous. All right.
I know. I'm saying that it looks like those two people combined to do something terrible to one small girl on that island.
That didn't happen. All right, Matt.
Look at the picture of Madeleine McCann. Look at the videos of.
It's a fucking picture, dude. It can be manipulated.
Talking about like skull and bones, like that kind of thing.
Kids look like other kids.
No, skull and bones is. I mean, now that all these people have turned out to be crazy.
Can I show you this picture? I have it right now. Can I share my screen?
We don't care about the fucking made up picture, dude.
How do I share
I
this?
care.
Matt, can you?
I care.
All right, Matt.
Can you share what you think about this?
Yeah, so I think there's absolute horrible, satanic, evil people in positions of power in Hollywood and entertainment and government. I don't think we'll ever know the full scope, but you look at the Diddy thing and the Epstein thing, there's power is using corruption and compromise to hold people to standards that they don't want to be held to. I think Hillary Clinton probably eats babies. I'm not exaggerating. I think she's
Okay. Can we
She needs
talk about
what?
the Trump?
Wait,
Can we talk about the Trump
wait.
phone
Hillary
call?
Clinton needs what?
Supposedly?
Hillary
Get off,
Clinton eats
get off
babies.
get off the
She's
conspiracy.
satanic. She eats children. I'm not kidding.
So wait,
Yeah.
no, I just
You
sent you guys
sound
I
super
just sent you guys an
enlightened.
email. I would like you to, again, look at this picture that I sent you. Is that the same girl? The girl with Trump in that picture,
We're not
which is
playing
not
pictures.
AI, is
Stop
that the same girl in your
Stop
opinion?
derailing the show. Stop with the conspiracy shit.
It's just a.
Nobody cares about this bullshit. Okay, you think demonic Hillary Clinton shit, whatever. Nobody gives a fuck.
I don't know
Just
anything about
answer the
anything
question
anymore.
about
And
the
what I'm
fucking
saying is,
Trump
it's
phone
crazy to
call.
think
You're
that
saying
this
Why are you
girl.
unsubstantiated claims about Trump diddling kids. There's really substantiated claims that Hillary Clinton has done some horrible stuff.
Sure. All right. I mean,
So again,
Trump wants to fuck his own daughter. So, like, I don't think it's a big leap to think that he wants to fuck these other young women.
Okay,
I mean,
so my point
he's
is,
obviously attracted to young women.
it's crazy to think that this girl, Madeleine McCann, possibly was like somehow.
I'm talking, dude. This is all getting cut out. All right, look, just
Fine, yeah,
stop
please
talking
do.
about the
But I
stupid
just,
fucking picture.
I'm going full Alex Jones on the
Matt,
Madeleine McCann. I'm not letting this girl's name die. I
Stop
think this girl.
talking, dude.
I just think Madeleine McCann. I'm fine with saying that Madeleine McCann needs to be
Nobody fucking
researched,
cares. about
and
this.
I'm okay with
I
saying that
care
girl's
what
name,
Mason's
Madeleine
saying,
McCann.
and I agree with him.
Okay, Matt, can you talk about the Trump phone call that the Florida police chief said that was made in 2006?
So what we're saying is hearsay. Nobody has an audio or a transcript of the phone call. There's a guy that says he heard a phone call, and we're not allowed to hear the actual original data, is what you're saying.
That's in the Epstein files, a report from the FBI agent who took the report from the police chief.
So a police chief heard an audio recording and then told
Trump
another guy who then wrote down allegedly that this occurred. That's 3-part hearsay.
No, the Trump supposedly called the police chief, talked to him, and then the police chief told the FBI agent. The FBI agent wrote a report. That report is in the Epstein files.
That's double hearsay and would not be admissible in court in any way. And we don't have any objective data that occurred. But we have Podesta emails where they're talking about trading kids and trafficking them. But we can't talk about that. So there's good data, like, and it may have occurred. Like, Trump might be evil, but you're holding him to a much higher standard than you are what Mason and I are talking about. Is like, we have a photographic evidence of Hillary standing next to Madeleine McCann, or direct emails from Podesta talking about providing underage girls in a hot tub for somebody as entertainment. There's evil people in the government on the left and the right, and in Hollywood, and in music and entertainment.
You're just muddying the waters with this nonsense from like years
Not muddying
ago.
the waters.
Like recycled fucking conspiracy theories. Pizzagate, is it Pizzagate? Are they making pizza out of children's bodies?
Pizzagate.
Like,
Pizzagate. What that is
Come on,
pizza was code for a young girl. So if you wanted to order pizza, that meant you wanted a child, a female
you
child.
cracked the code, Inspector Clouseau. You figured it out.
John, are you
Wrote the
defending
story.
pedophiles right now or something? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want
I'm
you to
defending
defend
pedophiles now. I'm the defender of pedophiles. Oh
Have
my
you
God.
read the Podesta emails? Because they're very weird if you read them. There's
guys-
no other way to.
You guys use all the same tactics as every fucking right wing like goon on the internet. Like,
All
it's
we're
crazy.
saying, hey, no, all we've said is
You wanna
we would
defend
like
pedophile
transparency.
Democrats.
There's
like
evil in the
transparency.
world, and I want it to be held accountable.
Yeah. Okay.
And you do that through transparency,
Yeah.
by the way.
And wood chippers.
All
Feet first.
right. All right, Mary. What do you think about the Trump phone call saying that he would thanked the police for arresting Epstein?
I mean, I think that would show that he wasn't coercing with him. Like, if he's calling and reporting that he's a disgusting human being doing horrible things like that, shows that he's against those things. So
After he's already caught? What point does that serve?
Wasn't the call in 2006?
Yeah.
There's a
And
difference
then
between
Don't interrupt
legal
her. You talk
and social.
funny, dude.
if the call was in 2006, that was before he got in trouble. Wasn't he in jail long after that? Like, he called him and said he called the police chief and said that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was disgusting and people in New York knew he was disgusting. So, I mean, that was 13 years ago. So if when questioned in 2019 after Epstein was arrested, he forgot making that phone call, I forget what I did 2 weeks ago, let alone 13 years ago.
He
So
was
he
arrested
forgot
twice.
Okay.
He got arrested originally in the 2000s, and then he got finally arrested in the teens.
Epstein.
I personally, I get the point of view where it's like, oh, Trump called them and was like, thank you. Oh, I'm a whistleblower. He was so bad. He was so bad. But it's like realistically, like most normal people don't do that. You know what I mean? It sounds like a fishing expedition to see if he was in the mix. Like, what did Epstein say about me? Like, I actually think the phone call happened probably because I think there's a chance the police chief, I don't know. I don't think the police chief's going to like make it up to some FBI agent in 2019, even if he was some big Trump guy who wanted to like defend Trump. I think the phone call happened. I think it's suspicious. I mean, it sounds like he wants to put himself on the side of right with Epstein when clearly he was like in cahoots with the guy for a very, very long time. I mean, there's like the birthday letter and all this stuff. Like, there's absolutely no evidence that Trump did anything to stop him. He kicked him out of the club, but he probably just did that just to keep him from getting embarrassed. I mean, maybe Epstein was like getting out of control or whatever, but like those guys palled around. They talked about girls. They probably had their own operations or whatever, but I mean, they were really good friends. And you're not really good friends with someone who's like not on your wavelength.
Trump did run the Miss USA and Miss USA teen pageants, which would be
very suspicious.
Also, but the caveat to flip that, he's known for fucking Stormy Daniels, which is not a pedophile thing.
I think Trump likes young women, but I think he likes them like in their early 20s. I don't think he likes teenagers. He's shitty to women, and he probably like treated a lot of women bad. But I do think that they were adults.
I'm just
Epstein
saying, Trump
obviously liked the younger side of things, and that probably was their split in the end. But they're both like not good guys.
All I'm saying is I just came up with that, and Trump needs to lean into the Stormy Daniels defense and be like, "This is proven. I was charged with 34 felonies on it. This proves that I'm not a."
She ridiculed his sexual performance.
What I was trying to interrupt, agreeing with Mary, is that there's a difference between a legal defense and a social defense. He has been legally proven innocent, I guess, of the Epstein crimes because there's really no evidence. But socially, people don't know yet. And, he's going to have to deal with that for the rest of his life. And so that's his incentive to get his name clean, because even if he never gets brought legal charges or anything, people are still going to question it. And it's his incentive to get his name clean because he wants his children to run for office. And as long as his name is tainted by this, his children will be as well. And again, Stormy Daniels' defense.
I saw a very good meme with Bill Gates, and it said if Bill Gates is willing to slip antibiotics into his wife's drink to cover her STDs that he gave her, what will he slip into the vaccines?
It's terrifying.
There's a lot of low-hanging fruit in the Epstein files of we're arguing about, and for the phone call that you're referencing, John, it's John called Mason and said something. Mason told me, and then I wrote it down. Like, that's a lot of steps, so it's hard to say that actually occurred or that everything was clear. And
it's
I've
a police chief calling an FBI agent, so it's not just like your neighbor calling your cousin. These are official government people.
Oh, so
taking explicit notes. They're trained in the legal laws and everything. I mean, this is not.
They're uncorruptible like Comey.
I mean, the Florida police chief probably likes Trump. Maybe the FBI agent does too. They're just doing their jobs. I mean, like, they're just reporting information.
Okay.
The FBI is just another governmental agency that is exerting the will of its founder. Like, it's just
it's a mathematical function. It does what it does. It's a shark. It swims forward and eats.
We know that the price of Bitcoin has dropped quite a bit. They say that the age of speculation is over. There's a big crypto law that's supposed to be passed in 2026. And that might bring the spirit back for Bitcoin and crypto investing. What do you guys think about? We probably can only really go around once, but what do you guys think about like the Bitcoin crash that's been happening recently?
I give really bad advice on Bitcoin. During my first year of medical school, me and my roommate had $2,000 left over after our student loans, and Bitcoin was 2 cents. And he's like, "Hey, we should just drop 1,000 each on it." And I'm like, "That's stupid. That's a bad idea. We should not do that." And he reminds me of it often. Bitcoin is inherently not real. Quantum computing is coming online, and Bitcoin will be hackable at some point in the future. I don't know how many years. So it can't update or improve its encryption. But so at some point, Bitcoin will fail. In the meantime, there's lots of ups and downs, and there's a lot of money to be made on speculating and investing. It does have real value right now, just like gold. But gold will be valuable 10,000 years from now. Bitcoin will not be valuable 10,000 years from now.
Well said.
Okay. All right. A lot of opinions there. Who's next?
I want to go last.
Okay, Mary, how many Bitcoins are you holding?
I'm not holding any right now. In terms of cryptocurrency, I did have a few other ones, which I won't name for tax purposes, but on
Melania coin, isn't it?
Right, I used Coinbase because it's really.
You know she bought the Hawk Tuah coin.
I mean, I think that real money isn't real either. So value is dependent on the user and what it is that the ends are you're trying to reach. So it's just a means to an end. Ours isn't backed by gold anymore. It's literally paper. Like, it has no value except perceived value and the value we put on it as people. And Bitcoin is the same way. It's like using a credit card. It's like money you don't see. So I think that it's going to have the value that we place on it. If they get the technology to protect it and guard it, I think that it'll work similarly. I think there's a lot of people who've invested a lot in it, and if they attribute value to it, it's going to maintain its value. But if people are starting to lose interest, the same way when stock markets crash and anything else, then it's going to take a dip, and I think it'll rise again. So.
Like the South. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
No, I'm a Yankee. Sorry, bye.
All right, Mason.
I agree with everything Mary said, especially about the dollar, except the dollar is backed by kind of like the labor of Americans, like, because we're legally, the Federal Reserve is not, you can't compete with it. And one of the things that's always been interesting to me about crypto is the fact that it is direct competition to the Federal Reserve, and I thought it should be illegal. And I never understood how it was given this special provision to operate. And then you look at it, a lot of them have been scams. And so crypto is shown to be just nothing but a pump and dump scheme usually. Sam Bankman-Fried, I mean, he scammed billions out of people, right? So in my opinion, crypto should largely be illegal, but not literally illegal. I just think no one should touch it. Bitcoin is no different. It just has perceived value. In this article, it pointed out, I have two final points to make. So first, in this article, it pointed out how scammy and scummy and terrible and disgusting the entire crypto market is. I have friends who worked in that, and they said, like, those people are the worst in the world. And I love that quantum computing will hopefully put them out of business. Because again, they're creating an asset out of nothing, and it's usually just a sales pitch, because they're saying like, hey, this is going to go up. Why? It's not backed by a product or any new innovation. It's just a name. But cool. So it's just a sales pitch. Let's see. So in the article, though, it pointed out, it said, we're just going to roll it forward. What does that mean? So your losses, you're just going to roll it forward. So if you keep losing money, there's literally a quote, and it's an arbitrary bullshit statement to try and sound like you know what you're doing. Maybe it means that they're going to push those losses so that they can put their balance sheet back to positive if they have a gain in the future. But again, if they're only investing in Bitcoin as it's going down, they're going to be a part of that collapse. So it's just stupid accounting, and it's a way for somebody to sound like they know what they're talking about when they aren't, when they don't. And the final thing is, my belief in the future of Bitcoin is I think it's going to go up even though it should go down. And the reason why I think it's going to go up is because the current rumor about Bitcoin is that we figured out that the origin, whoever it was, that Hitoshi Matsumoto or whatever it was, the name of the guy who made Bitcoin, anybody know what it was?
You're so racist.
There was a name that's always been like, this is the person who made it. It was like Satoshi. A Japanese. Yeah, it's exactly what I just said. Hitoshi. Okay, anyways, apparently.
Some Asian shit.
No, that was the rumor.
Hitoshi.
It's okay. Apparently, the origin is actually Jeffrey Epstein.
It all links back to Epstein and the
pizza. It's all backed by underage girls all the way down.
If you support Jeffrey Epstein, you buy Bitcoin. If you don't support Jeffrey Epstein, you don't buy Bitcoin. So the world should dump Bitcoin, but Mossad and the American taxpayer is going to be forced to subsidize it.
Okay, cool. I'll just round it out. I think the tech. You want to say one more thing, Matt?
Yeah. So 30 to 35% of Bitcoins that are out there are stagnant, which means it's an original buyer that's been sitting on it this whole time, or somebody bought coins and they were hanging out on a hard drive that is mothballed, recycled, or doesn't exist anymore. So there's like 35% of existing Bitcoins have not moved in decades. If quantum computing can hack all Bitcoin, the logical thing to do would be identify those coins and start slowly selling them off at the market rate. So when you see a long plateau of Bitcoin not going up or staying flat and dipping a little bit, that would mean that some agent, whether Chinese American or ultra rich financier, has a quantum computer that's hacked it and they're selling these off. That's my prediction. And after which, when they run out of those coins, then it'll just crash. People will short sell Bitcoin and it'll go to nothing.
Okay, that's one scenario. Yeah, so I think the technology behind Bitcoin is brilliant. I think the idea is brilliant. Obviously, like you guys pointed out, a lot of like scammer people, it opens up scammers. There's a lot of criminals that use it. That's part of the, the anonymity, pseudo anonymity. It's not like totally anonymous, but that it provides allows for, criminal actors to move money around, which they weren't really able to do before. Quantum computing, I do think, is going to break the prime number encryption sometime in the near future. But
I will say a lot of girls I meet in online dating that are way out of my league immediately want to talk about Bitcoin. It's very interesting that they're so into Bitcoin. But
yeah, their dad wants to help you invest.
yeah.
All the foreign guys that I find are interesting are also into cryptocurrency. As soon as I say cryptocurrency, I'm like, unmatched. Thanks.
You guys are going on dates?
No, just on dating sites. There's no dates.
No, just sites. It's just fun to swipe.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
So back to quantum. Yeah, so they can break it, assuming they reach some kind of limit. Theoretically, somebody could develop quantum safe encryption. And then the blockchain could migrate over to the quantum safe, and then it would not be broken once the migration was complete. So, I mean, if that happens, then that risk is mitigated and things keep going as normal. You guys mentioned it not being backed up by anything. Can I just say what I say? Loudmouth? No. All right, look. Okay, well, getting back to that, you're like, oh, it's not backed up by anything. But realistically, like, gold is not worth anything. I mean, there's probably some like electronics use cases or in some sort of industrial, but there's not a lot of demand to gold in the world. It's just like a precious metal that's historically.
What's the word precious mean?
Yeah, it's just, coveted or whatever. And it's
No,
just
we
like,
can't remake it. It's not easy to make. Like, it's.
I mean, you can mine more of it, but
There's going to be an asteroid of gold out there someday. Like one day we're going to discover a fuck ton of gold on an asteroid.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just an element. Yeah, it's a digital. I mean, but at the same time, too, it's a storage of value. But this is what people in this industry and stuff would say. It's a storage of value, value store, whatever. It's digital instead of physical. You're like, jerking off on the gold.
Well, we just gave like 4 reasons why the perceived value of Bitcoin would go down, but none for it to go up.
Yeah, and then finally, like there is a theoretical like value for a Bitcoin today, just like there's a value for Coca-Cola stock or Amazon stock or Google stock or for, pork bellies or other stuff on the market. It's just a new type of asset that we don't really know the value. There's been a lot of speculation. Retail investors have been speculating a lot. Institutional investors have gotten in recently. There have been some crashes that have and it's just fresh and new. So I don't think it's going anywhere. It'll eventually settle to some value that is reasonable theoretically by like the laws of economics and everything. But it's not like worthless, and it's not going to go to zero. That's ridiculous. So
if it were to be hacked by quantum computing, it would go to zero.
0, not like absolute, but
I mean, it probably wouldn't go to like totally zero because they could migrate their encryption. And
my old econ professor used to make a joke. He'd say, we're never going to run out of oil because there's always going to be at least one drop somewhere at the bottom of the deepest pit, right? So there will always be at least some value just because.
If it was like clearly hacked by quantum, they could essentially just stop the blockchain, roll the chain back to before when they knew that it was safe, kind of reset the transactions, deploy quantum safe encryption, and kind of like restart the chain.
There'd be no confidence. Bitcoin has value because of confidence.
Well, if they have confidence in the quantum safe encryption, if they migrate to a different form of encryption, then it would still be secure if they could successfully migrate. And there's like a lot of people with a lot of money that have a vested interest in migrating to something that's quantum safe. So there's no reason to think that they're not thinking about it. I mean, they're not like oblivious to this.
So it all comes back to illegal, undocumented migration?
Yeah. I mean, we could start a child quantum encryption factory with all the Epstein conspiracy victims. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Let's do like a final roundabout. If you just want to say anything, no matter how crazy, you can talk about your pizza pedophile stories or John Podesta or whatever you want. Let's go. So let's do Mary first.
I just wanted to say, since you had stated before, I do believe that there is a lot of evil in this world. And I think that the one way we can eradicate that evil is by shining the light on things like the topics that we're talking about here, by not redacting important information, and by being true to the facts and the truth as we know it at the time. So just face things light on, and that's how you eradicate the darkness.
I'll just say I agree that there is a lot of evil in the world, and it does seem like the American taxpayer is funding it because most of our channels go to specific groups of people. And it seems like those groups of people are evil. So we should stop funding those people. And I think the solution is just to get money out of politics. If you decrease the size of the federal government, you restore it back to the original purpose of the Constitution, which is, the Constitution created the federal government designed to protect the citizen from foreign influence. Now, if you look, all we do is enslave the citizen to the foreign influence. We need to get back to our basics. And if we do that and lead the world in the future, instead of trying to fund the world, all we're doing right now is funding our own destruction, because we're giving the money to the foreign influences and the NGOs that are actually destroying us from the inside and the outside. And it's fucking stupid.
We need guillotines as far as the Epstein case. The guys that are actually guilty and have done stuff need to be in the Rose Garden, televised, getting their heads cut off.
Matt, you and I need to be better friends.
I'm great friends. I love you, brother.
Happy Valentine's Day, gentlemen. Look, you have Valentines. You have a Valentine.
Matt and I are going to love hating politicians together. We're going to sit around and be like, politicians, they're the worst.
If you guys did a domestic partnership, Matt's salary would balance out with Matt Mason's income.
That's mean. That's really mean. Give me 6 months and that'll be inverted.
You guys get some benefits. All right, cool. All right, well, I don't have anything profound to say, so thank you guys. All three friends. We'll get some other friends for another video soon. One reason why we're able to do this now is that we've got Mary all trained up to hack through the video editing, and so this will theoretically be edited by Mary, and we'll see how that goes. I will be helping you and holding your hand the whole way.
Aww.
Yeah. So hopefully we can keep this going, and thanks again. So that's it. Real Veteran News 51. See you later. Bye.
Number 51.